Bang, bang. Hmm. Okay. Oh, okay. Peace. What's going on?
Oh yeah,
Peace.
right.
What's going on, peoples? Our bad. We over here like, wow, technology, it works.
Like, wow,
Yo.
technology is annoying. That's
You
exactly what
don't
I was
want to wear
thinking.
the same color shirt as me looking ass.
I was dressed first. I woke up first.
Oh,
I got dressed first. I put this on, and you was inspired to look this motherfucking good.
here we go.
You was inspired
Here we go.
to turn the fuck up like this.
All right. All right. You know then. Oh, I got the same color shirt on as you looking ass little girl.
Don't we look good?
I mean, hell yeah, you feel me if you put it like that. You feel me?
Don't we look good? Ain't we something to look at?
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sincere Seven,
Oh, and I am Tatiana.
and we represent the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit.
Oh,
And
the pad,
and
the House of Genesis.
hey, okay, you know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah, and
Come get right or get left. You know what I'm saying? You got a choice. I only got two hands. You know what I'm saying?
I got the other two. So you go get right or
Yo,
left either way.
you feel me? We
Either
in
way.
here, y'all. You know, back with y'all, back at y'all, live and direct. We know we ain't been talking a whole lot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
We've been plotting and planning. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
We've been trying to get shit right. You know what I mean?
Ooh, we've been
We
plotting and
we've been
planning.
moving. We've been doing. We've been grooving.
We've been
You know what I'm saying? But we missed y'all though. We
mm,
missed y'all. Y'all was on our minds the whole time. It's like we got to get back to our peoples.
not mine.
Oh,
Not mine.
one time for keeping it real. Okay, you feel me?
Not
I ain't mad at you. You know, I be waiting to get back to my peoples.
mine.
I ain't be going live. I don't be talking shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't be letting the peoples connect. I need to get back on. You think it deal with me? That's how I was feeling. You feel me?
Not me.
Okay,
Peace.
okay. Peace. Shout
Nah.
out, King. I see you.
I've
No
been
doubt, family.
I've been chilling.
Okay.
I've been in the deeps. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? So yeah. But hey, I do feel good to be back to y'all though.
Nah, tell her fuck her, y'all. Straight up.
I ain't gotta be thinking about you all the time
Oh
to,
man,
be
well,
happy to
fuck
be back.
you.
I'm happy to be back. Just when I ain't
All right.
thought about you, you
You know
know
what I'm
what I mean?
saying?
I ain't
Oh,
about to sit up here and fake it, but I am
oh, thinking about herself, ass little girl and shit.
I am happy to be back on a platform to be showing my face. I am choosing different. I was asking him earlier, I was like, what platform am I going on? And obviously it picked for us if you
Right,
saw
right.
that. So
Ain't it funny how we'll shame people for thinking about themselves? You ever thought about that? You so
Wait,
selfish. How you just think about yourself?
well, bitch, who else gonna think
Well,
about
like,
me?
yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of the point of this whole life experience as
Okay,
self.
self
You know what
preservation.
I'm saying? And it's funny how, it's a thin line in that. And some people just not sure how to operate because of those shame spaces. They'll find themselves caring about everybody else, not giving a damn about themselves so that they don't be selfish. And what are they doing? Self-destructing.
Ooh.
And then some people be so focused on themselves that they don't realize that the community is an extension of themselves. And they think that a man can be an island to himself, which he cannot.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So it is a thin balance. It's a line, kind of like in the yin and the yang, right?
Oh,
It's
you just
that
want to
thin
show your
line.
body off?
You know what I'm
You
saying?
just want to show your
I
body
mean,
off?
I'm so big and
I
muscular
mean,
and shit.
damn. You just gotta show your body off.
My bad. No disrespect. I'm sorry to be showing off. You know
Damn,
what
showing
I'm
off all that
saying?
sexiness and shit. Y'all see that?
But yeah, so we got to be careful and give people that grace. You know what I'm saying? To be able to take those selfish times,
Yeah.
because at some points that shit is needed.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
needed.
Oh my goodness. My thing is if you are not able to take the time for yourself and go into the depths of yourself, then how beneficial are you truly to society as a whole. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like how thank
Oh, thank
you.
you for some spice.
Like how much are you being able to produce in the world if you're not going in the depths of yourself? You know what I'm saying? You don't even know yourself. You can't even communicate effectively because you don't even know yourself. So you just talking out the side of your motherfucking neck. That's where I believe that shit came from. Talking out the side of your neck, not knowing who the fuck he is.
Mm.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
I think that that's really important, especially in this day and time where we have so many facilitators and administrators that are coming on, and accepting these jobs or accepting this place in our community. Is because a lot of times they talk about the wounded healer, is that person
Mm-hmm.
who's out here trying to heal everybody, but they've not done that work on themselves yet. You know what I'm saying? They've not done that, and it's like, who was that we talked to the other day, and they was like, yo, we talk about it as if it's once I'm healed, then I'm done doing the work and I ain't got to do. Oh,
Yeah, we were talking about. I was talking
yes,
about that. Look, so I was
yes.
talking about that shit earlier, and speaking of the facilitators and the practitioners, I was watching a video of one of the ladies that's in the community, and she was speaking about sensual assault and breaking down what that means, and the different experiences that people have within these entheogenic realms from practitioners and facilitators not being healed themselves and becoming predators in that space, and how people are becoming emotionally assaulted, spiritually assaulted, because what happens is you're creating a space of trauma within the psyche under a psychedelic. You know what I'm saying? Like under a very, very high conscious space in a whole in multiple dimensions, in multiple realms. You know what I'm saying? And so people are not understanding that you not knowing how to be responsible for yourself doesn't allow for you to pick the proper facilitators or practitioners for yourself, because you haven't properly learned how to advocate for yourself in
Mm.
these different realms and spaces. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to know how to be selfish and advocate for yourself. Like, no, I need this time and space. I need this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that you can just come through and be like, no, I'm not having it. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Showing
will
up
be
for
able
yourself.
to defend yourself a lot better if you knew who you were, if you knew
Mm.
how to
Mm.
properly communicate, if you
Mm.
knew how to properly advocate. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Oh yeah, that's the people for the thing. Excuse us for a second, y'all.
okay.
But yeah, I'm dropping that shit.
What's going on, Brandon? Yeah.
Peace. Hey, I'm at work and I was scrolling. I just wanted to say you two are glowing. It's making my heart warm. I love the yellow. I will come back to rewatch the live. Hey, peace, peace. Um,
And that actually good segue into the conversation we had.
yeah,
Yeah, no doubt.
go
Let me just
ahead.
get that blunt while you take off. That's is perfect to go into what the actual conversation is today, which is communication and entheogens. Um, which are two of my favorite topics, period, right? Entheogens, we already know. The Psychonaut Academy Detroit. If you're familiar, you already know how we get down. We have the education, we have the experience, we have the groups, we have the integrations. We go through a lot dealing with these entheogens, right? But a lot of times when we're meeting and we're talking about using them, we're using them for spiritual practices. So as far as speaking about using them for relationships and utilizing them for our strengthening in the physical realms, right? Because everything, when you use these entheogens, everything doesn't have to be addressed in the spiritual realms. That's why a lot of work is done with PTSD, depression, anxiety. These aren't spiritual realm elements. These are more in the physical and emotional body, right? So when we're talking about that, the first thing that came to my mind is protecting your boundaries. And we was having a discussion about communication versus opening your throat chakra. Because as we was talking about, communication amongst another, I was like, hey, one thing is the snake venom and how it allows individuals to protect their boundaries more. The cobra head, excuse me, the cobra head, the monocled cobra, as well as the western diamondback, are two of the snakes that are said thank you, when you utilize their venoms, um, it changes your character and it allows you to be more outspoken for yourself and protective of your boundaries. You'll speak up for yourself more. So the rattlesnake is known as the sword, and the cobra is known as the shield. So the rattlesnake makes you protective. Mm-hmm. So not only do you feel protected, but you might see some wrong going on against somebody else, and you speak up and run up and say something and stop that situation, or interject yourself into the situation because you feel protective. Yeah. Whereas the monocled cobra is the shield, and it makes you feel protected. So now when somebody's coming at you, talking to you, putting their hands on you, you'll speak up with the boastfulness that makes it's like, I don't have venom in me, but I feel like I know I got venom in me, and so I'm about to speak up for myself, and I'm not scared no more, and you gonna get your hands off me, sucker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. I remember when we did venom ceremony, and I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody that was having a hard time with standing up for herself with her mother. You know what I'm saying? And she was able to navigate through that shit with ease, after she had the venom, and it was like, yes, that's some righteous shit, because it gives you the same characteristics that help you to embody the things that are already within you. They just become unlocked. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine that everything that you have within you just has some form of blockage on it or something of that matter. And then you get these DNA upgrades, and it unlocks these certain parts of you that have been hibernating or that have been blocked from trauma. You know what I'm saying? And now these things and these energy points are open, and now you can fully express yourself in the embodiment of who you are.
Okay, so I know we're talking about communication and we're going to continue, but I just want to throw something out there right now. Since we're in the conversation of snake venoms, how they affect us, what comes online, and all of that, let me just throw out there real quick. To those of y'all who have seen the QR code with all the different venoms, and well, not all of the different, but with some of the different venoms and what they do and how they operate, right? I want you to just know a little, and if you haven't seen that QR code, inbox me. Venom's QR code ? And I'll make sure you get it. Venom's QR code. Anyway, I was doing a ceremony last week in Texas, and one of the ladies came in the second day, and I asked her, so have you experienced anything, anything come in your dreams, anything that subtly that you was able to see? Like I quite often ask my clients. And she said, not really. And she said, I didn't feel the ancestral trauma work or the shadow work. And I was like, what do you mean? And she said, well, I took the green mamba, and it says that it helps with ancestral healing ancestral traumas or generational curses and shadow work. And I said, oh, okay, let me explain something to you. When you do certain entheogens, certain animal medicines, certain things like this, and it explains or tells you that it has the ability to deal with ancestral traumas, connect you to your ancestral DNA, open up spiritual connections to certain things like this, it's not an automatic like, oh, I took the venoms, now when I go home and lay down, it should just work. That's the same as it increased your sports and athleticism. It gave you more power. You could jump higher and you can run faster. You get up from doing the venoms, you go home, you lay down, you go to sleep, and you get up and you come back and say, I didn't feel like I was able to run faster. Well, did you run? No. Did you jump? No. Then how do you know? You have to employ the conditions that will allow these things to come out. So I just want to explain that to y'all real quick. For those of y'all who have done venoms and have been looking for things to come online, you have to put yourself into position. So if one of the venoms that you took says it assists with spiritual shadow work, that means you have to go and do some shadow work, and whatever it is that you're trying to achieve or tap into or bring forth, you will have the ability to do that easier. If it says healing ancestral trauma, once you do the venoms, now you have to go in and address these ancestral traumas, even maybe address the ancestors in a entheogenic realm of usage. Take you 7 to 10 grams, tap in, go into the ancestral realms and do these works, ask these questions, put these invocations out, right? So I just wanted to be clear on that. So if there was any confusion, like you could just take the venoms and they do the work for you. No, it gives you the ability to do the work. And that's where you get responsibility from. It's your responsibility. Responsibility is respond to the ability. So once you're given the ability, now you have to respond to your ability. That's why it's called responsibility. You have to respond to the abilities given to you. All right. Oh my God. When I got my medicine, I was looking like, why is it not working? LOL. No, I had to get my ass up for it to work. Yes, there you go. You got it, Callie. You know what I'm saying? 3 sessions are a must, right? And it is 3 sessions just for your first time or every time. Good question. So let me just tell you. That is a very good question when it comes to the, and we're gonna get back to the communication and theogens because we still kind of in it. When it comes to the snake venoms, if I'm, it really depends on what you are using it for. If you're using it for spiritual, you can actually get one administration, and some people is affected there, okay? Because the DNA is introduced in the first session. If you're looking for character growth and development, like I said, trying to open up that throat chakra, trying to be more protective of your boundaries and things like that, then I would say do it at least 2. If you're doing any type of for the physical healing and addressing issues, then I would say do the full 3 for your administration. So generally you do 3, period. But the truth of the matter, for the question you asked, if you're doing it just for spiritual reasons, you could just do that 1. You know what I'm saying? I've had people who come and do that 1 application, and they don't do the other 2. I actually had a guy who came and did 2 applications, and then he was supposed to come for his 3rd, and I didn't see him for a week. And when he came back, I asked him if he had noticed anything in his dreams, this and that. He was like, dreams, hell. He was like, I didn't tell you when we first started, but you told me about that lump in your testicles. That's why I did the same venom, and because I had a lump in my testicles. I said, had? He was like, yeah, it's gone. I said, you've only done 2 administrations. He said, I know. That's why or 2 applications. And so then we did his 3rd one. So that's how we run that. Thank you for your patience. We went through a little snake venom talk. You know what I'm saying? We just talked about snake venom for a second, but let's bring it back to communication.
Peace, so, y'all. We getting some shit taken care of in the house. I'm trying to get shit done.
That part of the conversation was the snake venom and using it for protecting the boundaries and all of this.
Okay.
But does opening your throat chakra mean that you just improve your communication?
No.
Oh, well, that's interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, you gotta go with him now.
All right.
Yeah, because he.
Well, I'll be back. I'm gonna let her kick it with you.
You gotta pay. So, no, opening up your throat chakra does not mean that you have improved your communication. Open up your throat chakra means that you will probably be able to have a little bit better and effective communication, but it does not improve it because communication requires more than just opening up your throat chakra. It requires so much more than that. But opening up your throat chakra gives you the ability to actually communicate, like to actually have the confidence that you need to speak about things. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I want to get too left into it. You know what I'm saying? Because we have something coming up, but no, that's not the case at all. That's not the case at
The
all.
service is gonna give for 30 days, so if it starts acting up, just give us a call. We'll come check it out, look at it.
Oh, great, great.
Right now, I put the drain hose up, and it seems to be running fine.
Yeah, I know. This home stuff though, baby. So he started talking. I just kind of kept in. But that is. Listen. Okay. So anyway, opening up your throat chakra does not improve your communication. Flat out, period. You know what I'm saying? Like
it does in certain aspects.
And certain aspects, but it's not overall.
Oh, okay.
It's not overall. It's not an overall thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what we're here to debate about today. We are here to debate about the fact that we ain't even debating. We are talking about entheogens and communication. And I want to stay on that because I think that right now communication would approve a lot of things that's going on in people's lives, whether it be in your relationships, whether it be in your business, whether it be in your personal development of self. You know what I'm saying? Like all that shit matters, you know. Thank you. You as well. So I feel like opening up that channel is one thing. But when you open up the channels with entheogens, it will assist in opening up the channels of opening your throat chakra, which will assist in, you know what I'm saying? Like all of these things are assisting agents for communication.
Can assist.
Can be assisting agents.
Yeah, because again, just like we was talking about, you still got to do the work. You still got to do the work. So yeah, let's go into that. Entheogens and communication. You know.
When we're talking about entheogens and synthetics, we're speaking about psilocybin.
All right, let's start there. How do we use psilocybin in our relationships and in our household to assist with our communication?
Okay, so cushion coffee with a cap.
I was wondering, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like, no, it's flat out. I know, but it's just the fact that, you know, I was just in space. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about a lot of things and whatever. But
did I throw you off to the left?
Nah. But yes, we use cushion coffee with a cap. You know what I'm saying? We know that when you use a psilocybin under a microdose, that it allows for certain barriers in your brain to be open, and for you to open your heart to remove that egotistical woe is me.
And for y'all scientific people, I believe it's called the default mode network.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? You can look it up.
So when you take this microdose, it opens you up to higher realms of consciousness and awareness and emotional intelligence, and you are able to communicate effectively, so that you know how to move, so that you know that
know
next
cushion
action.
Coffee with a cap is?
So cushion coffee.
Let me tell them.
Okay, so what's cushion coffee with a cap?
Okay, so what cushion coffee with a cap is? This is something that I created.
Why you gotta sound like that? What the fuck is this, Heavy D?
Because you asked me like that, so I figured, fuck it. If we just gonna do some role playing this shit, I'm with it. You feel me? Okay. All right. We silly, y'all. All right. So cushion coffee with a cap this is something that we put together on accident. Because if you know about the pad, you know that we also known for our coffee, right? So making that pad coffee was just always something that went down. And I've always been a heavy smoker of the cannabis. I've, slowed up quite a bit lately, but I was always known for that. So when you came to any type of counseling sessions with me, I would be smoking, so I would always offer it. So now we got Kush and coffee. And then, on accident. And then, shout out to Anna Clark, you know what I'm saying? Shout out.
Man.
And then, so we started doing counseling for people. And after me and her had some experiences with, while we're on microdoses and the conversations and the way they be going, it's like, damn, like, this shit really lowers the defenses.
Yes.
So we started giving people, when they would show up to counseling sessions with us, as soon as they would walk in, we'll get them a cap. That's what we call it, a microdose, a capsule. So we'll give them a cap, and we'll be like, take that. No Diddy. Take that, take that, take that.
You're ridiculous.
Okay, so anyway,
Okay.
and then we'll sit there and we'll blaze an ale and we'll drink some coffee.
Oh, by the way, let me get that.
You know what I'm saying? For about 30, 45 minutes and just talk about, you know what I mean?
Random
Life,
shit.
just random shit. Doesn't matter what was on TV last night, what you made for dinner, what your grandkid, it doesn't matter. But after about 30, 45 minutes,
Boom.
I could start to sense when that microdose was tapping in and all systems was coming online and all ego and defense was going to sleep.
And this is a collective thing in the environment. Everybody tap in, tune in, and turn on at the same motherfucking time. You know what I'm saying? Like whether or not somebody feels it before the other or not, that doesn't matter.
Don't matter. Everybody
but when it is time to get in tune, everybody zoom the fuck in, and it's one vision.
And at that point, we start going through the more difficult conversations. The conversations not of what they did to me, what they made me feel. What you? Who are you? Where do you take?
Who the fuck is you?
Where is your accountability? And not to say that others didn't do, but how were they allowed to? Yes. What gave them the position? What did you do? You know what I'm saying? So everybody can just see themselves for who they are instead of the roles they're playing. And then at that point, then we can start digging in deeper into, better ways of manifesting. And just it's always awesome. It's always awesome. The default mode, network mode, has went off. So that's that network mode where just excuses and arguments.
Let me tell them what this network mode is.
Okay.
And this is my absolute favorite story. Okay. I had a friend. Now, first of all, I'm going to say that I have a Mercury in Leo.
I know what you're about to say.
He. So he always be like, the way that you talk to people is just, I can't believe blah, blah, blah. And we literally had this conversation before we fucking came on live.
She is so mean and aggressive.
And
he
be so like, sweet. He like, you be like this and this and whatever. And I'm like, you are the same fucking way. I'm like, the only difference is you use social media. He like, well, that's different. I'm shadow boxing. You hit niggas straight in their face. And is. Okay. But anyway, that's besides the point. So we have this one situation where the roles reversed for some reason this day. Okay. And this was a friend of a friend. Like, I didn't even know this girl. You know what I'm saying? I met her through somebody that I knew. Okay. And she just trusted me because the person I knew was her homegirl. She was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I trust her. Like, so bitch, yeah, I'm gonna come fuck with you. And I'm like, all right, bet. Come do the cushion coffee with a cap. She paid for her session. She came over. We sitting and we kicking it. And she like, look, I'm here because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need help. Like, she like, I know some shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, she started telling her story and, going this and that or whatever. And the old man just bust out and was like, you want to know what the problem is? You want to know what the problem is? And she was like, she leaned forward and she was like, yes, I do. He was like, you a ratchet ass bitch. And I was sitting on the couch and I'm sitting next to her and I was like, oh shit. Now, mind you, we've all microdosed. So she sat there and she kind of leaned back and she was like, yeah, I am. And I was like, what the fuck? Okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we are talking about, that defense mode mechanism. No, because we got a point here. No, fuck what you talking about. No. The whole point of that is her ego did not allow her to get distracted by the words that he chose to use, because that was the words that her soul needed to hear in order for her to start her correctness within herself. Hey. So, yeah, we laughing and we talking shit, but this is serious.
Hey.
That was the language that she could understand.
Okay. I just want to put a disclaimer out. Okay. I have to. Because I don't want somebody to be watching this and just thinking this is my normal A-ho.
I
Like,
said the roles was reversed.
I'm just, listen, I'm still putting out my own disclaimer because you have spoken on something that it did in fact happen.
It did.
It did happen.
It did.
And so with that, I would just like to give the understanding of something to people who might not know me. This is not my normal mode of operation, but at the same time, I'm a different type of medicine man and a different type of shaman, and my history is different. Okay, so my history comes from a dark place.
Yes.
And in those places, I recognize people sometimes.
Yes.
Be like, yo, what the fuck you doing here?
Yes.
Right? So I don't know this woman, but I recognized her character. Like, oh, I know exact. And so in that conversation, microdosed, I'm channeling, I'm hearing, and so I know who I'm talking to. And I'm like, oh, okay, I need to talk to her. And that's why she said it. The chick Lean was like, yeah, I am. Like, I know a ratchet bitch. Like, she ain't offended by being called a ratchet bitch. She'll tell another motherfucker, look, I'm a ratchet bitch. You don't know. So I'm letting her know, I know who you are. And I know why you here. And I know very well how difficult that this walk that you try to take is, because I was a ratchet nigga. So it's like, I'm like, yo, sis, what are you doing? Oh, shit, that's you. I'm letting her know. So it was more than that. Understand, I'm speaking to her soul. I don't want women out there thinking I'm out here just calling women ratchet bitches.
Right.
Okay.
But that's why I said that. That's why I was explaining. And when he talked
she said,
about,
I mean, my ratchet ass bitch needs to come out and be acknowledged too.
Period.
Shout out, Cole.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Sometimes you gotta talk to the inner bitch in the hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what we are good at.
Yes.
And that's what we are masters at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and he always said that. He's like, baby, you know, maybe you want to stop talking to these women and calling them bitches and hoes. Like, how am I ever gonna get them to be fairies and fucking witches if I don't talk to the bitches and the hoes in them? You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta be realistic. I gotta talk to them in a language that they can understand it until their language changes. Until they can unlearn some shit and relearn some shit. I gotta talk to them where they at.
No doubt.
If I come into peace queen, this old hotep bitch.
Right.
She thinks she better than me. She all spiritual and shit. Bitch, no, I'm not. No, fuck, I'm not. No, the fuck, I am not.
Oh shit.
Okay, you know. So yeah, and that's another thing in communication. You gotta know who you're talking to, but you gotta be able to be honest enough with yourself to know who you are, to know if you can be able to talk to that part in somebody.
And let's keep it real, y'all. Haven't we all found ourselves being a lot more comfortable with somebody in a certain situation once they be real? Like, I was in the military. And so when you go into different companies and you go and like you're on a mission, not a mission, but even a volunteer. So I'm going to another company to cook or to do some work or whatever. You know, like if you got a bottle of drink back at your tent, you don't just tell somebody that. But once they say some shit or you get into an argument or you get into a fight or they say some out of pocket shit, after you get past that, you're more comfortable with them than anybody else. Right. And that's what I'm talking about, is like breaking that ice, where it's like, you see them movies where a person will walk up and say some real disrespectful shit to a boss, and the boss would be looking like he about to snap, and then he'll be like,
I like him.
Yeah, I like you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I trust you now, because that's some real shit.
Yeah.
That's we specialize in that shit. We real people.
Real.
And we don't have no problem with being ourselves.
Yes.
That's what we had to learn, because we were scared to be ourselves. Cole Whitty said, that's the part that keep me alive. I respect that part. She just can't drive the car anymore. She can lay back in the back seat and take a break.
I know that's
you
right.
Feel me?
And then every
Love
once in a while,
parts of yourself.
If you decide that hoe need to pop out, then let her out.
Let it sit in the passenger seat. You know what I'm saying? And hold the stick shit.
Okay, let me tell you. So
that's a part of loving yourselves.
Yes.
Because we are all from the generation of shame.
Yes. And one thing is we need to be able to self-identify, and understanding that being able to self-identify is understanding that if you're judging somebody and seeing something within them that is like, ugh, That's you, bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like that's a part of you that
A
needs to
part
be
of you.
addressed and discovered. You know, and because he said that we come from that shame era, a lot of the times when we are judging, we are not seeing that it is us being envious of their self-expression or envious of something or angry because of, you know, it's so many different layers to why you have the emotional and mental and physical responses, you know what I'm saying, in your body and your nervous system, you know what I'm saying, like that is not known because you don't even know what the fuck. You don't know what the
Mhm.
fuck. You have to be able to tune in and be okay with all these different layers of yourself, be okay with all these different parts of yourself so that you can identify like, oh, I know why I'm like that, you know what I'm saying, I know why I feel like that. And I think for me, one of my journeys was I decided, I was like, you know what, I want to be able to see myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to see myself so that I can improve my life because I'm tired of living the same story. I'm tired of being in that same cycle. Like, I need to be able to see myself. You know what I'm saying? And once I said that, I started being able to identify myself. But it wasn't until I literally stopped and paused and looked at every single situation that I was in and been able to be like, oh,
Mm.
oh, I can see why they feel like that. I see why they doing that.
Okay.
I
All
see
right.
that. You know what I'm saying?
So we kicked it about the cushion coffee with a cap and
Mm.
using microdoses and lowering the default network mode and all of this. What's another entheogen plant, animal, or synthetic that you like to utilize to
Oh,
improve communication and how?
oh. Okay, so we're gonna go MDMA.
Oh, so before you do, let me give a honorable mention to cacao.
Oh yes,
To cacao, man. The
cacao.
minor heart
Look at
opener
you too. I like this. Happy to see you growing together. Ashe.
going into
Oh,
MDMA.
Wachuma. Oh, okay. We got people out here throwing
Oh,
it out here. Okay.
oh,
Hold on,
oh,
not Cole.
oh,
San Pedro. Okay,
oh.
not Cole.
Okay.
Jeez, let me sit up
I was
straight.
about to say, tell me more. Like, man, I wish we could bring her on. Now, see, that is one that we both haven't
Experience. Yeah.
experienced. That is like, and it's
I'm
calling.
patiently waiting for my Wachuma walk, baby. I am
Mm,
patiently waiting for that kinda.
Cole said, Connor. I
Mm.
have heard that. I have
Yeah.
heard that. That's also something that I was just speaking to Rob and Leslie Schiff, also Condor coaches from the
That's what I
Condor
was about to say.
Integration
I've heard
Training.
that through the Condor
That
approach.
yo,
Yeah.
that's and so and some other people that we're gonna try to take a walk with that and see how we
Right, because
feel
even
about that.
I think even ketamine was that was good for they was well,
Really?
ain't that what Lamar was talking about, how that helped
Look,
him open up
yeah,
and
but that was he. I think okay. I thought he was saying that he used ketamine as his treatment to get off of drugs, but I don't know. So I just leave
yeah.
that like that. I don't know.
Okay,
I
okay,
don't know
okay, okay.
because it could be.
Yeah.
But if it's a disassociative, I'm imagining that having those conversations that need to take you through associating with self would be kind of difficult. But again, I don't know. I've never had any experience with that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
okay, Cole said very light.
Mm-hmm.
Kana is legal. It's addictive though.
Mm.
The ketamine. Got you. Yeah, yeah. That's one that I've always just kind of been like. It's like no, don't use that as an analogy. Leave those
Yeah,
people alone.
yeah. Go ahead
But
on.
it's one of those ones that we got entheogens and we got drugs and what's this right here in the middle? I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know what you are, so I'm just gonna kind of leave you alone, me myself. You cool now. I ain't tripping because I got friends on this side who use you.
Yeah.
But all the ways that you have to take it, I'm like, look, hey, funny side note, isn't it funny how all the drugs that are used also have you could take the same tools that they use
And
and
for
put them into some
entheogens?
type of entheogen. I be watching movies and the people have a dope set up, and I be like, somebody there was doing Cambo. There's a crack pipe on the
Shit.
table. Hey, they do bufo. Like,
Ah man, I was making a joke about Rape for a minute or whatever, And he was mad about it. He was like, "You need to stop saying that." And
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
did not like that. What you was calling it, the psychonauts cocaine or some shit? I was like, nah, we not gonna do that. We not, no, stop that. We gonna stop that. Oh man, okay, so MDMA, aka Molly. One of the main active ingredients in what used to be, still is known as ecstasy. So first, let me just point out that common misconception in a lot of spaces that I've heard people talking about, that they're the same thing. They are not. Ecstasy is MDMA as an active ingredient with all types of added what's the stimulants to it, caffeine and blah blah blah. I can't even blah 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 blah. All right, so it's a lot of stuff added to it. So it's a cocktail of, but the foundation of it is apparently MDMA. And then MDMA or Molly is the pure synthetic active compound of MDMA. I called in Cosmic Coke in Austin. Exactly. Not sit with it. Ashe. Yep. Ashe. Yes. We've seen that.
So MDMA, I'm going to talk about my first experience. You know, my first experience was on some wild shit, kind of a little bit, but not really. And when I say wild shit, I mean it was not in a ceremonial space. It was not in a intentional space. It was kind of in a, oh shit, look what I just found. Let's take this. And I was kind of like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I've already explored mushrooms. I had already explored acid, and it was just kind of like, oh, what's the worst that can happen, you know? So, you know, she had told me, she was like, you know, it's kind of old, like I haven't had it in a while or whatever. And when I seen it or whatever, I instantly was like, is this bitch about to have me do some crack? I was like, this look like crack. I'm almost
gonna do it if it was crack.
No.
Oh.
I was like, I'm almost positive that this is crack. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, is this crack? And she was like, why the fuck would we be doing crack? And I'm like, shit, because I had to ask, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not sure, you know. Like I've never seen this before. I don't know what it is, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, how do you take it? You know, she was like, you know, she like, you just, it's like a pill, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay. So it was like a small piece or whatever, and she broke it up, and it was 3 of us. And she split it between the 3 of us, and it was me, her, and one of her friends. And it was like, okay, cool. And so we're sitting there and we talking, and we just all kicking it or whatever. And we're having a good time. And I didn't even realize that it had kicked in. You know what I'm saying? Because we was just vibing. Okay. Like the conversation was good. And then I found myself kind of tapping into the realms, you know, and I do that a lot already, but the way that I was tapping into the realms was a little bit different, and it was like it had opened up a different pathway, right? So I'm like, okay, this is cool, and I started talking to her friend and kind of expressing some things to her that she needed to hear. So it had turned into a counseling session that was just impromptu, you know, and it was the same as like a microdose where it allowed for that space of ego to not be provoked. You know what I'm saying? And we were able to just effectively have this conversation or whatever. And I mean, I could tell that the things that I was saying to her was making her tense, and it wasn't that something that she wanted to be receiving, you know what I'm saying, in her physical body, but I knew that her soul was accepting it because she was still listening. Like she had, at any point in time, she could have just walked the fuck away and went to her room. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she stayed and she listened to what I had to say. And then she went on about her business, right? And then for the rest of the night, we just had great conversation, me and my friend, right? And so that was my first experience.
So, I'm gonna say before I go into deeper into the MDMA, that I remember I used to be totally against anything but weed, and I'm smoking mad weed, and this guy kept trying to give me an ecstasy, and I'm like, no, I don't do that, man, I don't do that. And then he was like, well, one day you gonna do it. He left it above my fireplace, right? And I was like, whatever. And I put it behind the picture. And I swear, not even 2 or 3 days later, this girl came over and she was talking to me. And I'm like, why is you biting your jaw? And like, it was like weird because she's talking and she kept clenching her teeth. Now, mind you, I don't have no knowledge of this realms and none of this shit at this time. And she like, cause I'm rolling. I'm like, rolling? What are you talking about? She like, I'm on a bean. I'm like, a bean? What is a bean?
Is it back?
And so
Is
she
it back?
told me like I'm on I'm on a ecstasy pill. And I was like, oh shit, what that feel like? And then she just started being like, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and I feel like this, and oh, if you was on one, I would do this, that, and the other. And I was like, is that right? Well, you know what? Well, I'll be damned. That I went back there and I grabbed it. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, you know what?
Damn,
you know what
they
I'm saying?
saying no.
Um,
I don't know what's going on. Maybe
so ended and started back.
ended and okay. We
You
gonna end
know,
it and start it back.
yeah. So yeah, it was like, so I took it and it was very sexual for me. Okay. And so after that, I was like, oh, wow, this is like, I knew what space I wanted to use it in. So it was like, it was so sexual. So that's how I started using it. Was now, mind y'all, this was before I started doing what I do now. So I started using it in those type of spaces. And one thing that I noticed was that if I was not engaging in sex, that I would just talk and I would run my motherfucking mouth. And I'd be talking about shit I ain't got no business talking about. And I just be telling on myself and telling, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? So I started calling it the truth serum. So that's leading into where we're going now.
Right.
I started
Oh my
calling
God,
it right. And I didn't know why I'm feeling this trust and this love for these women, and I'm just telling them everything that I really don't need to be telling them. So so there's a statement that I got from that experience, and I say now if I'm on something like that, I say, yo, let's get to having sex before I get to telling on myself. Like, just period. Like, let's get engaged, right? So
that's so funny.
now, what, 15 years later, to be learning about all of these different entheogens and psychedelics and hearing this empathogen. Wait, what the hell is an empathogen? You know what I'm saying? Causes the empathy, causes the heart to open, causes the love and the trust amongst, and it's like, oh,
that's what's been happening to
that's
me.
what the hell, right? You know what I'm saying? So, okay, so now I gotta look at you because I know we be talking and we be sharing a lot on social media. So I need to look at you to understand how much of this is we about to disclose and how much of this. What,
the rock drop.
I'm gonna let you talk. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna sit here and nod my head, like, you know what I'm saying? Because if we're talking about entheogens and how to improve communication,
we talking about,
and now you just spoke on MDMA.
Woo!
Okay.
We are going to be mindful in the way that we share. We are going to share, but we are not going to give.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
So who's going to talk about this one? You or me? Who's going to start it off?
I'll start it off.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. Let me start it off. All right.
Yes, because I have a very funny, weird segue because of what happened, but I'm gonna let you.
All right.
That was spoken about more, but go ahead.
So my next experience, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
One day I was just like, fuck it, babe, let's do some MDMA. Like it's time, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool, right?
Now I might have said it like that, but in my mind I'm going, oh my goodness. Because y'all keep in mind, I'm from the old school. I do all my spiritual work by myself.
Yes.
And so this is a very challenging space for me every time she say, hey, let's, and anything after that dealing with entheogens. So I might have said like, okay. or however she said I said it. I don't know that, but that
Okay.
was not how I felt
Maybe-
internally.
Maybe he didn't say it exactly like that, but that's how I perceived it because I was so excited to hear yes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it was like, shit, right? So boom, all right. We take this MDMA, and first of all, let's talk about the mood always has to be set for us. We're very intentional, regardless if we're going in to have fun or not. Okay. We clean, we set the scents how we want them or whatever, and we just go. And I'm like, all right.
Set the altar up.
So we take it, and I'm like, all right, cool.
We started off with cacao.
We started off with cacao. Oh, it was so good. You know what I'm saying? And so I began to feel it roughly 7 to 10 minutes in.
Okay.
Okay, like 7 to 10 minutes in, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling something. About 15 minutes in, I'm like, oh my God.
Right,
okay.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God. And so
Yep.
now I'm on the floor and I'm in child's pose for my yogis out there. Okay. For those of you who do not know, I'm about to sit on my knees. You sit on your knees, you kind of open your legs up a bit, and you lean all the way forward, forehead to the ground, arms stretched out in front of you. And I am laying there and I am just feeling this through my body. And then I sit up just like a little kid, just like this. And I'm like, and I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling so great. But I was not feeling sexual. And he was like, you was moaning and all of it, but it wasn't it just was feeling so good. It was like
I was sitting on the couch looking at her thinking, oh, I can't wait till mine kick in. Cause she making that shit look real good.
I'm like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like feeling that he like, your shit done kicked in. I'm like, yeah, he like, dang. Like, all right, you know what I'm saying? So I was like,
I was hating on purpose.
I was like, I'll be back. You know what I'm saying? I went and got in the shower because it's feeling good. And me and him both, we are water people. We are in the shower. As soon as some motherfucking shit hit us, we going to the shower. And half the time we just be like, I'm coming in there too, because scoot over, because that's how much we need the water to recalibrate our nervous systems. We are both the same in that way.
Wet kitchens.
That's what I was about to say, that wet kitchen environment. So I got in there and I'm feeling good or whatever, and I'm like, just like yes. And I get out the shower and I go in there or whatever, and I'm like, how you feeling or whatever. He's like, I don't feel nothing. I'm broke or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So he goes in the shower and he come out and we start talking a little bit or whatever. And I'm feeling so good. And I light the blunt.
No.
No. Okay, go ahead.
Let me take over.
Okay,
you was in La La Land. So,
okay.
All right. So I'm gonna rewind. She's in child pose and press play pause. Okay. All right. I just want to see that again. All right. Unpause. How you feel? I'm on the couch and I'm like, I don't feel nothing.
Yeah.
She like, oh, I'm feeling good. I'm like, yo, clearly I can see that. I can see that. She gets up. I'm about to go get in the shower. She goes and gets in the shower. I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like, damn, man, like, how long these motherfuckers take to kick in? Cause it's some bullshit. So about an hour goes by. I'm standing up pacing now. See, that's why she didn't even realize. Boom, she get up. We go into the room, right? Now we in the room.
Our hair went by.
She in the room. She stretching. She doing all this shit. I'm sitting on the bed. She like, how you feeling? I said, I don't feel shit. We had about 2 hours by now, y'all. Yes. So I'm literally feeling some type of way. Like, what the fuck type of shit is this? Like, I ain't never not allowed in. Like, I always go in. I'm feeling some type, like, what you saying? That's why you synthetic. Fuck you, MD. Like, I'm really feeling all type of shit all up in here about this shit not doing nothing to me, like something wrong with me and shit. So I'm very disappointed right now. And I say to her, hey man, this is some bullshit. This shit ain't kicked in yet. Now, we only have one blunt. That's the thing, is we was waiting until this shit peaked, and I'm anticipating some shit. And when we get there and we all woo, we gonna fire this blunt. And Nothing's happening. So now I'm aggravated and I say, yo, you want to smoke this blunt?
Oh, okay.
And she like, it's cool with me if you want. And I'm like, fine. So I grabs the blunt. Mind you, I'm standing up. This is how, like, because I was pacing. I'm pacing, like, when is this shit gonna kick in? She in the bed all fairy, like,
Wait, but you hit the
slowly
blunt, you was
shit.
in the bed.
No.
Yeah, you was
No,
laying back and you was like, oh, there it is.
no, when I fired it up when I was standing up. Because remember, I was standing there. Okay, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm standing there. So if you saying something different, we ain't got this. But this is the thing. I fired it up and I hit that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And when I pulled it in, I felt like my whole body, my whole skin started to just harden into a clay. And then said, and started falling off. Like that's what I felt.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. And I hit that motherfucker again. And all that shit started falling off. And I looked at her. And okay, we're sharing, but we're not giving. So I'll just say, I looked at her and just started talking. Like, I
Yes.
and Blase split and
Yes.
yada yada
Yes.
yada. And she looked at me like, what? Wait, what? Tell me more.
Uh-huh.
And I just started word vomiting
Mm-hmm.
and just explaining different things that I've been doing and how I've been feeling and how I've been operating that she had no, you know what I'm saying? It's like, wait, what? And it just was like, oh shit. So it was like the flip when I hit the so this is the segue I was saying that this is gonna go a little bit somewhere else because of my experience. But the understanding that cannabis, to keep it short, was what I used to regulate my nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
And being a soldier and being in so many violent and all of these different types of situations, I've built up a certain protection mechanism within myself where I don't let nothing in.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to allow my defenses to come down for anything to get in. So the MDMA was trying to get through and it was like, what type of motherfucker is this? How is he built? And when I hit that blunt, boom, it lowered my defenses. And I'm like, and then the MDMA flooded in. And I was like, oh, and that was with the cracking and crumbling and all that falling off was, and then I just started just sharing all of the things that was deep in my heart and that I had been feeling and going through. And it was like,
and yo, let me just say that I could see in his face as he was sharing the devastation and the fear because he wasn't sure of what was going to take place next after he expressed his truth. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. He didn't have, and from past experiences, he knows that shit would have been the icing on a motherfucking cake.
Triggering.
And that was going to be it.
Track star.
So with that being said, I don't know. We're not sitting right. You're not in this one. Come here.
Oh.
Yeah. Or something. There we go. So, I was able to identify with what he was saying and the things that he was saying. It was just it was just like, I ain't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying?
Default mode network being taken off again.
Oh, excuse me. And it was like, I didn't care because I've already moved past the understanding of why I cared before. I got to know myself. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, I'm prepared or whatever. And it was like, it allowed for us to open up space and have deeper conversations and further into stuff and really change the dynamic of our relationship. And that's what we mean about using these different entheogens, whether synthetic or not, to be able to open up these lines of communication to assist you in developing and growing stronger bonds. You know what I'm saying? And this is what really builds lasting relationships.
Because I'm truly not convinced that we would have been able to have that conversation ever
just
if we on some regular, or without entheogens at all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I
Oh,
don't
for
see
sure.
that conversation had one even been taking place, two being responded to, and three seeing her the next day.
But
The fuck?
but to be honest though, it was like a lot of the things that were being discussed were things that I had been trying to open up anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it wasn't. He wasn't going for it. He was like, "Shit, you got me fucked up, bitch. I know what it looked like to open up like that." You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I
And it
already
was
know what's
like,
happening.
and for me, it's like it was like, give me an opportunity to reintroduce myself. My name is Hove. H to the OV. You
And
know, so it was like, you know, it was like during these spaces, it allowed for him to accept me as I am by being himself.
and you know what the number one thing that the reason why we was able to do all of this
What?
because of integration.
Oh,
Shout out to the Condor Approach by Tom Colwitty.
Ashay.
Okay,
That shit changed my
integration.
motherfucking life.
Yes, we're able to take these conversations and these experiences that we go through and learn how to integrate them.
Mm-hmm.
See, us dealing with magic and dealing with alchemy and all of these other things gives us the understanding of changes and how these changes
No.
bring about, you know, different realities. And so with that, we're a little bit more responsible for how we respond to our abilities, responsibility. And that's what allows us to bring these things and utilize them. And that's what integration is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you take the in space, no, excuse me, you take the intake, which is where you set your intentions. You know what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go, and then you go in space.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where things get challenging at, and they're gonna be, and you have to expect that. In space is if you're a mountain climber. When you go to climb that mountain and you're in the space of there's gonna be challenges. And then after you do that and you're coming down, this is the integration. How do you take those things that you just experienced, that you just heard, and how do you take those into your consciousness and your psyche and implement them into what would be the best thing to do moving forward? Not what are my emotions telling me, what are my feelings, how do I feel about what I just heard or what I just, nah. What was our intentions to get where? I remember one of my teachers, mentors, however you want to respond, something happened and I told him I'm about to blank, blank, blank. And he said, is that going to fix the problem? And I said, what? He said, is that going to fix the problem? I said, the problem? Nah, you know what I'm saying? My man violated and he said, but the problem is, and I was like, well, the problem is this. He said, so is what you about to do going to fix the problem? I said, no. He said, well, don't do it. If it doesn't fix the problem, why utilize your energy to focus on doing it? I said, because it'll make me feel better. He said, exactly. That's why you broke. I was like, oh shit. Now, mind you, this is my financial mentor. He's like a real $1 million motherfucker. He teaching me about yeah, yes, him. And it was like shit. But after that, whenever I got ready to respond to certain situations, I would ask myself, is this going to fix the problem?
Right.
Usually it's no. And sometimes it's yes. And when it is yes, the second question is it going to create a larger problem? Make sure you ask yourself, because sometimes the problem is this person is really something that is causing me, so I want to do something in response. And it's like, will that cause a problem? It's like, it will. But will it cause a larger problem? It quite possibly might. So, you know, safety first, y'all.
Yeah, safety first. Safety is
Peace.
very important. And you know, when we are exploring these different realms and levels of consciousness, you got to be cautious. You know what I'm saying? You have to be cautious. You know, you have to go in with intentions of knowing what you're trying to get out of it, you know, so that you can move forward, because we are always looking for growth and development. We are always striving to move forward. We are always striving to be an example so that we can be of service. Like literally, a lot of people have watched us transform over the years, oh my goodness, into so many different things. And A lot of the times when we would go live, it was like I'd be talking or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'd be a lot of times bullshitting or whatever. And a lot of the times I downplayed the information that I needed to be giving or whatever, you know. And this time I'm doing exactly what the fuck he told me to do. And that's show up. You know what I'm saying? He like, nigga, stand by me. You know what I'm saying? Shine your light and shit. And I'm like, all right, motherfucker, watch out.
Whoa, turn that shit down. Hold on. Shit too bright. Don't be brighter than me. Okay, go ahead and shine. Fuck it.
You know, but yeah, it's been a beautiful journey. And I'm glad that we have opted to use these things because I told him like when we came around this time, I'm like, we have entirely too many tools to not be using them on ourselves so that we can properly guide people on how to use them in different situations because we're only navigating it from this space. Let's navigate it from a complete lifestyle aspect. This is now our lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not just doing these things simply just period. You know, it's like we are literally doing this on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to be able to expand our knowledge and understanding of things to be able to offer to people so that we can raise the consciousness of the collective
of the planet, period. For sure.
Period.
You know what I mean?
You know.
Because I, for those who don't know, my mission is to usher in the old generation 7,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Those gifts, those abilities, those powers, all of that. The understanding of accepting those individuals and understanding what their roles is in the community. So that's what I'm here for, is to usher in the old. And I ain't talking about the old like a couple hundred years ago. We talking about thousands of years ago. You know what I'm saying? Where our solar system is and the photons that's moving through and that's activating what the scientists call the junk DNA, bringing about these what they call superhuman abilities, these gifts, these abilities, these powers. It's the X-Men Live type of shit. And it's like a lot of people are not understanding what's going on within their circumference, you know what I'm saying? And I'm here to assist them in that, you know, and shit, give them some guidance to where some of their teachers are, where some of the people who they can learn from or go and teach, because a lot of people are the first of their kind. Right now, we got a lot of first of their kind in our time frames. You know what I'm saying? And so, with that being said, I'm having to explain sometimes.
Okay.
You are the people that's supposed to be writing the books on these practices.
Okay.
The old information is not going to serve our new foundating, you know what I'm saying, principles. It's totally different. The gifts might be the same, but how they're utilized, you know what I'm saying, the way we operate as a people, you know, the way we have to come together and what the focuses need to be moving forward, because what we think important usually is not.
Ashe. And my mission is to guide people to the light within. To
Come
help
here, baby
them
seven.
realize and understand
Come
that
here.
It's you. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like point blank period. It's you. You the one. You are the light that you're looking for. And my mission is to help you discover that. Right? So before we move forward, I want to just pause for just a brief moment. And I would like for us to just take a deep breath. Go ahead and release that.
You didn't take a deep breath with us.
Yeah,
you want to take a deep breath with us?
You need to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath.
Did you feel that?
Don't that feel better?
Hey, that's the foundation of it all, y'all. You're breathing. Yo, I'll take 15, 20 grams in a second, but yo, doing breathing exercises,
let me see.
That shit horrifies me. I said that when I was in Texas. Yo, what type of motherfucker scared to breathe? Me. You know, that's a little secret. I don't be telling people that, so y'all keep that to yourselves.
Nobody told the whole fucking global
nobody's
world.
supposed to know that. That gotta be our secret. That's how intimate I am with y'all, yo. The breathing exercises. I remember once we was at the Condor Approach, and because I don't like when people be like in a full room and I'm in there and everybody else like, oh, we're gonna do breathing exercises to change our consciousness, and everybody start breathing a certain way. I be moving my stomach and shit, but I do not be breathing with them. No. Again, like I said earlier, I'm real big on who I do my spiritual practices around. So when they are telling us that these breathing exercises are going to open up different chambers and different things like this, I don't do it. I'm very sensitive to those type of spiritual practices and openings, and when they open and somebody touching you and all type of shit. So I'm just real protective of myself like that, right? So the condor approach, I'm comfortable there. So Cole was walking us through a breathing exercise, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So, all right, breathe like this, breathe out, breathe in, this many seconds, breathe out, and we going through this whole shit. And it was like, okay, now hold it, okay, breathe out. And I was like, and my consciousness said, and I went, oh shit, oh, hey, did anybody else feel that? And everybody in there just started laughing and like looking at me like, yo, what the fuck wrong with him? Because I'm sure everybody felt it, but it's like, that's what we're doing. Like, duh, like, what are you talking about? And they don't know, because I don't be doing that.
Right.
Because that shit horrifies me. Mm-hmm. And if those of y'all are saying, wait, how does breathing horrify you? Because I don't know what I'm doing. See, my control issues, right? My control issues,
oh my God,
all right, are in check. So I don't have to be in control of people no more. This used to be a big thing for me. However, somebody being in control of me is very uncomfortable for me. So when we go into a practice and somebody's telling me, breathe a certain way, and I'm doing it and it changes my consciousness, I have the feeling like they are in power of my consciousness. Because whatever they just did to make it shift, what shift was that? Where did I just go? What happens when I'm there? What can you do with me when I am there? Did you turn it off? How am I supposed to breathe to turn it off? Do you know how to turn it off? All of these things come to my mind, and it brings an anxiety within me. I don't know. And so for me, now, let's just say in martial arts, the last martial arts that I started training under was jiu-jitsu. Why? Because I didn't like, I'll fight all day. Bang, throwing elbows, boom, throwing fists, feet, all of that. As soon as a person get a hold of me, get to choking me or anything like that, oh shit, I'm going nuts. Right? So I knew that is a weakness of mine. So what do I need to do? I need to learn how to go through all of that. So jiu-jitsu is where you learn a lot of those principles. Now going and training in that, I'm more comfortable. A motherfucker grab me, I got some shit I've been waiting to try. You about to lose that, right? You know what I'm saying? And so for me, that's why I said I need to take a breathwork class. Because then whatever it is that I'm doing, I also know what is going on and I'll be more comfortable. Now, this is a prime example of why we say there's not a lot of men in the entheogenic realms. You'll see it's mostly women. A lot of men are not doing the work. Why? Because of what I just spoke on. You have to be able to submit. And women are nature's first shaman. They're already naturally shaman. They naturally tap in and tune into the spirituality within them as well as that child. They have that gift. They have that ability. Now, can they do it with their village? That's another topic, right? But the point I'm getting at is tapping into those and being and submitting to. That's something they have to do to even give birth. They are naturally already tapped into doing that and exercising in that type of expression. Whereas men, we are more of the, we're giving a shape to things. So to submit is a very uncomfortable thing when it comes to being a person in the male body, as I say, as a man, right? And so a lot of men are not willing to do that. And that's where the blessings come in at when you are using these entheogens. But that's sometimes why a lot of people don't get as much information, don't get things to bring back because they're not submitting to the experience. And sometimes they're trying to battle, they're trying to ground themselves, they're trying to keep themselves in this consciousness. You know, that's what, you know, so I could just go left on that, but I just wanted to point out that from my point of view, women are a lot better if I may say that, in the entheogenic realms because of their ability to submit. They have that naturally within themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Where men, we find that to be a challenge.
Absolutely. You know, absolutely. Women, we are definitely, and we are nature. We are naturally, we the earth. So it's like, duh. It's easy for us to connect back to our source, you know. Whereas the men be kind of like, man, where the fuck we going?
Right. I need a destination where we get in this car and just go.
You know.
Women to get in the car and just go. Right? I'm like, where are we going? I don't know. We're just driving.
Shut
what
up.
The fuck were you? Wait, what?
No.
Who does that? Right? You know.
Go back upstairs. Well, shut up.
So, all right. So, entheogens.
Yeah, I see somebody outside.
And communication.
So what's the
any other? Is what? What's the what?
What's the LSD.
Oh.
But
that one.
A microdose.
A microdose
of LSD.
Have you done it before?
Yet we not trying to have you fucking the whole time.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you might can do that later, but not the whole time. So you're gonna microdose it.
Because remember, we're talking about using entheogens for communication. Now, if we're saying relationship through sexuality, take the whole thing. But for communication, opening up those portals to be able to share with your partner, or 2 tabs in the 7.5. Oh, no.
That's
that ain't for communication.
That's not what we're trying to do.
That's too deep. That's for spiritual work. That's straight for spiritual work. That's going deep. You know what I'm saying? I did 16 grams in the acid tab. And, oh boy, now, oh my God. But no, for communication, light work.
Light work. Every time. Because
keep in mind, when we're talking about communication, we're talking about terrestrial work.
Mm-hmm.
This is not extraterrestrial. This is not cosmic. This is not celestial. This is not even ancestral. We're not going deep. We're not going deep. We're going, she said, this Lily, okay. Yeah. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, not for that type of work.
Right.
This is more for like light work for communicating and open up. Even though we spoke on the MDMA, again, MDMA is not a psychedelic. It's psychoactive, but it's more of a pathogen.
Yes.
Okay. And so it's and so it brings about that feeling of trust and you know, the ability to share without fear of retaliation, opening up the vulnerability within us. And as Tal say, vulnerability is possibility, opening yourself up to possibility. Right. So when we're talking about the LSD today, we're talking about entheogens for communication.
Yes.
So you would want to microdose.
So microdosing a tab was very much like taking a MDMA almost, you know what I'm saying? Like, but just a little bit more intensified, you know what I'm saying? It was a beautiful experience, and it still had the essence of the tab, which allowed for me to release, you know, because MDMA, it opens up that spiritual and that communication channel, but not the like deep spiritual where you can have emotional releases and stuff, right? Whereas the tab, it did all of that. It opened me up spiritually, emotionally, and physically, and it gave my body the opportunity to completely relax. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the MDMA don't give you that relaxation because you still very spiritual. You know what I'm saying? It was like that tab is like, nah, you out your body, baby. Get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? And
so
it was like,
you know how you go deep, and I'm grassroots, right?
Yeah.
So pause, because I want you to continue.
Yeah.
But I want to give them the grassroots. I want to give them the setting. All right. So this understanding, I gatekeep for her that night. So I always say trip sitting and gatekeeping is different. Trip sitting is where that person takes medicine, you don't, and you hold space for them. Gatekeeping is where that person takes medicine and you take some too, but you hold space for them at the gates of this. So she had asked, you want to go in? And I'm like, Not necessarily because I had just got back from Texas. I had just been tired, like in all levels. And I was like, I would rather do it when, I got more energy. And she's like, okay, well, I'm going in. And I'm like, ooh, okay, right? Now, mind y'all, I said earlier, I got to think about taking stuff with somebody, but her ease just be like, okay, I'm going. It was like, well, ain't that some shit? You ain't gonna wait on me, cause I know
You can go get in the bed.
that when she taps in, she's going to do whatever works it is, whether I want to or not, whether I feel like I should be able. If it's some magic going on, I'm about to take part. If it like, even if she's just cleansing me, it's like I already know how she get down. So in my mind, I'm like, no, you're not gonna be in there and working, and I'm sitting here laying like, oh shit, and I don't even know what's going on, but you do. So I'm like, fuck it. I went. I took one too, right? But this the thing. Intentions had already been set. This is not something that neither one of us was aware of. But that's what I got out of it when I came the next day, because I was not allowed to go in where she was at. I was into the point of the empathogenic, where it's like I'm seeing her somewhere and I need to meet and support her there. But I'm not going to join her because this is her time. This is her space. This is work that she needs to be done. This is why she went in with or without you. So be it that you like, okay, I'm going to come too. Don't think that you're going to ringleader shit. No. Now you're here as a support system. So it was already set. And so that was how these things played out. She danced, and I sat and I watched her dance. She did yoga. She laughed. She cried. She did quite a few different things. And then where she got to a point where I need what I'm saying and feeling to be responded to, that's when it was like, okay, boom, here I go. You know what I'm saying? And now that I've painted that picture of how that scene looked, I'm gonna go ahead and let you jump back in with the experience.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It allowed me to fully see myself, and accept the space that I was currently in. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still in a space of integration. You know what I'm saying? And even though I'm still in a space of integration, there are still a lot of changes that are rapidly going forward in our lives. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, like I'm still integrating with some of this old shit, and here come all this new shit. You know what I'm saying? And then some more shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it was kind of overwhelming, and I just needed a space to just be able to release and relax. And I needed a space to be able to tell him, like, yo, I'm feeling like this, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of feel like this is what I want, and this is what I need, and I painted a picture for him of what I desired and how I feel like it would be beneficial for our whole entire family, like just the structure of what we're doing. And he received it, you know what I'm saying, and we were able to just move through it. Just he held space. See, y'all playing with me. He held space so good, you know what I'm saying, like he was really present. He responded to every single thing that I needed, you know what I'm saying, like whether it was verbalized or not. So I feel like that was a good communication channel, because communication isn't always verbally. Sometimes it's body language. Sometimes it's telepathically, and it's important for you to be able to be connected to whatever the space is in the container, so that you'll be able to do whatever is necessary within that, So yeah, it was phenomenal. Like, I mean, it was so great. It was kind of like one of those things, like I do that shit every day. Like, that's how good that felt. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, I felt like now that I was able to have that release, I'll be able to utilize that experience for something more productive and creative, You know what I'm saying? Because I've released whatever the baggage of what I had been holding. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that experience was just like, damn, like, because tabs are just so fucking great. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are probably my favorite. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, they be heavy. It be like, God damn, you be all day, you know, and it's like, nah, like you can kind of slow down when you microdose with it. Like, so yeah, I highly recommend it, you know, and I invite Babe to be able to get his own experience for that.
So let me just go ahead and add another layer to this.
Go
When we're
get your
talking
cup.
about improving communication
Go get it.
within our relationships, I just want to point out that I'm also
Okay, go
speaking
ahead.
on
Mhm.
um men and women with their children,
Mhm.
with their children.
Mhm.
Okay. Or some of us as adults with our parents. Okay. If you can get one of your parents or your children to sit in a cushion coffee with a cat
Mm.
with you, you will uncover so much. You know what I'm saying? Me and my children have outstanding relationships, and I think that a lot of it does have to do with some of the works that we've done as a family, whether it be Cambo, whether it be.
Excuse me. It looks like you got a call in 8 minutes. Let's go wrap up.
Oh,
Yeah.
got you. Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out. Like, I've heard people having some extreme generational curse healing with their parents and with their loved ones by introducing entheogens in a small manner through conversations and intentional opening of this chamber. You know what I'm saying? The logic ceiling opening up, if you will.
Mhm.
So with that being said, we're gonna have to bring this to an end. And as I always close with, tell somebody you love them in the language that they can understand it in.
It was good talking to y'all.
With that being said,
Peace.
peace.